Hello and welcome to the 2016 Walsh University GLIAC preview for women's soccer. I'm Logan Smith with head coach David Renard. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
We're a little bit displaced because we have a little extracurricular activities going on campus. DCI is in town, so that's why you see the beautiful Lynn Milazzo field behind us. But let's talk about the season. Got a lot of players returning this year. We have a few holes to fill, but we'll talk about that later. Talk about the core of athletes that we got returning.
Yeah, it certainly won't be easy replacing some of the seniors that we lost last year, but expectations are still really high. We've got a lot of returners that really look at it more as an opportunity going into this season, and this past spring was really one of our more exciting springs as far as seeing the improvement, the development, and camaraderie within the team.
Talk about some of the main players that we have back. Madison Strasbaugh is the captain of the team, but there are many players returning all over the field. Sarah Berger, All-American in track, as we all know. Yeah. She returns to lead the defense. Just talk about some of the players, in all four phases of the field.
Yeah, you mentioned Maddie Strasbaugh. She'll be our leader on and off the field. She's always been our physical presence throughout the last couple of years, but on top of that, she's just grown tremendously in all aspects of the game. Emma Mallets has been a 3-year starter going into her senior year here. Kind of a quiet player, but we really expect her to break out and have a great senior year. You mentioned Sarah Berger, Corinne Swift. Those are two players that, for us to be successful, they're going to have to step up for us.
Now, we lose some of the offensive production. It's going to be really tough to fill Jessie Gerhardt and Kristen Conti, but we got quite a few players coming in as well. Talk about some of those new players and what you think some of their strengths are and how they can help the team this year.
Yeah, first off, I'll mention, we do have Melissa Schaff, a returner, coming in up front, who's kind of been knocking out the door the last couple of years. I think she'll do well for us. Leah Jalbert, redshirt senior, she's a kid that hasn't really been healthy since her freshman year, so we're excited to see what she can bring for us. And then Sydney Santaguida was just a freshman last year, but played some important minutes for us. So those players we think will do well and fill some of those needs. As far as incoming players, that was a big need of ours. So we did bring in 4 or 5 players up front that we think can help us pretty early on. Olivia Peters from Chicago is coming in. Played a lot of big-time club soccer growing up. She's a player that can come in and help us out. Alexis Mefford, a kid that grew up down the road at Lake High School. She's a kid that I believe she led Division I in scoring last year in Ohio. So, 2 players that right off the bat we think can really help us. We have a very good goalkeeper, Mickey McClanahan, coming in that will really challenge at the goalkeeper position.
Very nice, very nice. Now, the schedule will be a little different this year. It's our last year in the GLIAC, but we'll have some new teams that are coming to play us. Talk about just this year's campaign.
Yeah, so conference schedule won't change all that much on the women's side, except for Malone has now moved out. We expect it to be extremely tough, from a conference standpoint. Grand Valley is still the team to beat, not only within the GLIAC, but also within the entire country, 3-time returning national champions. Outside of that, we've got, Ashland has always been strong, and they've got a lot of returning players really across the board. Not too many teams lost many players, so the expectations will be that we'll see a lot of the, similar teams that we saw last year. Non-conference, once again, we're going to see Gannon, which was one of the top teams in the country, and then Roberts Wesleyan from New York, which is a team that was ranked in the top 25 at times throughout last year. So we wanted to add in some tough games up front to prepare us for the depth of the GLIAC.
And on top of that, that's a former conference rival as well, Roberts Wesleyan, back in the AMC, back in the NAIA days. How is it to have that team come back on reappear on our schedule again?
Yeah, you're right. They were familiar opponent the past couple, from when we were in the AMC, and I was even looking at the roster and kind of recognized a few of the names from back when we used to play them. So them and Damon have continued to stay on our schedule since the move to D2.
Very nice, very nice. Well, thank you for joining me today, and
thank you.
Let's go get them this season.
All right.
I'm Logan Smith for David Renard, and we hope to see you during the 2016 season, and go Cavs!